All right, so Kylee Wall, my ex-employee.
Your ex?
My ex-employee, I miss her already. She was with us not nearly long enough. But you know Kylee on Twitter and the Creative Cowboy. You've been writing, do you sleep?
No.
Yeah, I swear she doesn't. That's why you haven't seen too many WallyCams, and I'm too tired to edit them this year. But you really started something kind of cool about, I don't know, a few months ago with your article?
Last year, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, so she kind of called out the industry on the gender gap, and that led to some discussions going on here, and it's kind of taking on a life of its own. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why you felt it was so important to even bring it up?
Well, your media programs are half female, half male, and when you get into the actual industry, only about 18% of editors are women. So it's like, where is that? Why is that happening? That's not. Women are interested, but they're not making it into the field to be actually doing the work that they want to do. So when I was at NAB a couple of years ago, I realized that there weren't that many women around, and I wrote an article about that, and it kind of snowballed into an article about sexism, calling out the actual casual sexism in post-production, of which NAB it's got some problematic stuff, but it's just a symptom of a greater gender bias. So yeah, we had our panel. We had some great women on our panel
Who was
at
on the
Post-Production
panel?
World. We had Megan Christian with Frontline, Sean Fever from the UK, she's a commercial editor.
Oh, we love Sean, she's awesome.
And Ellen Wixted from Adobe, she's the product manager for Premiere Clip.
Great.
And it was moderated by Amy DeLuise, who does
I just met
documentary.
Amy.
Yeah.
Just met Amy. She's staying in my hotel, and we met on Twitter, and then we met in person. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So the folks at the Creative Cow were telling me that as a result of your article that came out recently, right before NAB, that some companies actually contacted them and said, you know what, you're right, we're not featuring enough women on the show floor.
Yeah, you don't really think about it. If you're in the majority, you don't think about how it affects people that maybe they're here, like women. You look around and you're like, I'm kind of uncomfortable with that display, but I'm not going to say anything because if you do, you're kind of seen as argumentative. But you don't understand that when you're excluding 50% of the population potentially, you're doing a disservice to your company, your reputation, and also, I mean, basically your bottom line by not making an inclusive environment for everybody.
Yeah. And I think you brought out some valid points, and Angie Taylor even said, you know, there's times that people come up to her and say, can you tell me who the After Effects, expert is here in the booth? And she's like one of the most talented After Effects artists in the world.
This happened to us last night. Yeah, me and Sean and my friend Katie, we were at sushi over at the Westgate, and a guy sat down from a tech startup that does streaming and stuff, and he was like, what do you guys do? And I said, we're editors. And he said, oh, you guys are reporters? And we all looked at each other, and we're like, no, we're video editors.
Did you smack him?
No, we took his card and listened to him because, you know, you can't speak up because it's kind of scary as a woman and in the minority to really, like, be too combative.
So what do you think, without naming any names of companies or anything like that, I mean, have you seen, like, maybe some improvements or some changes out here on the show floor this year?
I haven't gotten around to everything yet, but I definitely haven't noticed that many booth babes or whatever you'd like to call them.
Sure.
There are definitely two very problematic companies that are still persisting with their issues, and one of them kind of took it up to the next level with gratuity, which is kind of uncomfortable. It's ridiculous that you should do that because you have to. We don't want to make everyone like super happy and fuzzy. We just want to make it inclusive. Like, don't make people uncomfortable and eliminate them from coming into your booth because NAB is just a bubble, but it represents the whole industry.
Yeah, and I applaud you and everybody, and especially Adobe's gotten right in the middle of it by sponsoring your post.
They are amazing. Megan Keane, Ellen, all of them are so great.
And very good, and NAB gave you some space up there. They helped get the space put together. I believe NAB is raising the awareness.
Yes, they talked to us a bit, and Creative Cow has been great. Like from the beginning, when I first talked to them, I'm like, I want to write this thing. And I kind of need some help because I'm not sure exactly where I want to go with it. So they went through and they read my early drafts and helped guide me.
Awesome. I applaud you for doing it. I applaud all the women who have been participating in it. The hashtag is
post gender gap, and it is full of stuff right now.
It has rather exploded here, and rightfully so. And quite honestly, I didn't notice anything. And when I first read the article, I was like, I don't really see that because I actually usually seek out female editors when I'm looking to hire somebody. just my own personal opinion, I think female editors are better storytellers. I think they care more about the material and the story, and the men always care about, well, what are you editing on? And we had this discussion last night, somebody saying, well, I'm a Final Cut editor, I'm an Adobe editor. It's like, no, just shut up, you're an editor. That's all you are. And I think women actually understand that the guys get too hung up on technology. So that's just me. Maybe that's a gender gap the other way around.
It is. It's still making assumptions about gender.
I am.
Yeah,
I totally am.
But
See?
you're recognizing it though, and it's great. And I've heard that from a lot of people that are like, I didn't think it was a thing, but then I started thinking about it, and I accepted your experience as valid.
See?
And now I'm looking around and I'm seeing that yes, there is an issue.
There's an example right there. I just did it the other way around.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Without even thinking about it. But no, I think I applaud you for making us think about stuff that we're doing and doing shows like this. I think all manufacturers should think about the fact that, hey, men are not the only ones buying this stuff. Everybody is buying this stuff. You have to appeal to everybody, and don't make anybody uncomfortable in your booth. Just welcome everybody.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
All right, WallyCam from NAB Show with Kylee Wall.